Greetings and welcome to you. I am Shushana, and today we're doing another pick a card reading because I really like them. I used to do them a long time ago and then I stopped, and I wanted to focus on putting people in astrological groups. But I have lately been really liking the group divisions with pick a card pile readings. So we're doing another pick a card reading. Let me just get everything situated with the piles for you. So many people are getting over artificial intelligent viruses. It's miserable to say the least, but I found that keeping yourself at a high vibration, trying to eat and drink high vibrational foods, no matter how bad you feel, will eventually get the AI virus out of you. So that's going around. So if you hear my voice kind of raspy, it's because I'm getting over my own AI virus that I had to deal with myself during these times where they are poisoning the water and the air more than usual. They've always done this. It's an ancient tactic to poison people's air and water. And they just happen to be doing so more than usual. So, anywho, let's just do a quick little. So, let me talk about the title. The title of this video is about clearing negative emotions. Different people have to deal with this differently. Let's say we are attacked differently in different ways. If certain entities cannot get through to you from one angle, they will try to get you from another. So today we're going to be doing negative emotion clearing. Negative emotion clearing. We're not going to be clearing the natural emotions. We're not going to be clearing positive emotions or emotions connected to lessons. We're going to be clearing emotions that are attacks. Okay, so we're going to do that per pile. Let's talk about the piles, shall we? So the first pile is pile 1, and this is pile useless. It does not mean that you are useless. It is just a word that wanted to be expressed. And then we have pile 2, life is meaningless. Sorry if my stomach grumbles during this video. I am fasting, as I pretty much am all the time. So pile 3 here is life is a blessing. Pile 4 is miracles. So which pile are you attracted to at this given moment? Are you attracted to the word useless? Are you attracted to the word life is a meaningless? Are you attracted to life is a blessing? Or are you attracted to miracles? Pick your pile with absolutely no judgment. I am not here to judge. I simply do things differently than most. I do not use tarot. I do not channel. I do not search for downloads. I am a scanner and I am a diagnoser. Excuse me. So, after we're done with your little pile, we are going to choose an animal omen card from this lovely homemade deck that my daughter helped me make. And let's begin with pile useless. You're just attracted to this word. So let's take a look at your pile. So it's always fun to figure out where I want to begin. The front or the back? Ooh, let's start with the back. So we have learning to scan your body. So right off the bat, the fact that you are attracted to the word useless means that you feel that your life is useless. You are covered, absolutely covered in very thin cords that they look electrical, but they're not. They are these disappearing cords. It makes me think of when you combine chemicals and the chemical reaction, but they still cause psychological harm. So we are washing these cords. We are washing all these cords associated with uselessness. You lay around in bed and you come into this conclusion that life is useless, absolutely useless. And you allow ego to simmer. The ego combines with the thoughts of uselessness. The thoughts of uselessness are an attack. Where the attack is coming from in this particular case doesn't matter. The fact is that you believed it, and you can't fall for that trap. So we're just kind of erasing it with chalk. It seems like putting chalk on it and then erasing all of it is grabbing all those particles. There are nanoparticles associated with these nasty disappearing cords. And the thought of uselessness is an attack upon this pile. You have to understand that when you feel debilitated, paralyzed by the thought, the state of mind of uselessness, it is an attack. It is like Spider-Man spewing its web on you, a web of uselessness. That is the program to disempower you, because usually you will feel a sense of life is uselessness out of nowhere in your mind. But it's not. It's not out of nowhere. It's when you were about to have a breakthrough. It's when you were about to progress. It's when you realized your potential. That is when this is spewed onto you. It seems like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not allowed to look at where the attack is coming from on this one, because it's multiple entities that are working together. So it's better to just erase and reject any further uselessness towards you. When you see something decaying on earth, whether it's a fruit, a vegetable, whatever, what happens? Gnats are born. Gnats don't get enough credit. Energetically, gnats are seen as a negative thing. They usually represent some kind of uncleanliness or demonic presence in the house. However, gnats are also underestimated for their miraculous existence. A fruit is rotting and gnats are born. That's amazing. That's a miracle. So, gnats also represent progression. inevitability, life and death, reincarnation. Always there is movement. So in nature, uselessness does not exist. There's always things moving. If you get lost in the Amazon trying to camp and you're laying there with no tent and no sleeping bags, those insects, all those little creatures in the Amazon jungle are not going to wait for you to die to start eating you. They're going to start eating you now. They're not going to waste any time. So the feeling of uselessness is unnatural. My God. Unnatural. Whenever you feel a light bulb come up, that's when you have to be ready for anything to attack you, is when you're trying to progress. Just be ready. Oh, okay, I'm progressing. I have to shield and clear at the same time. So, learning to scan your body using the color gray. Gray, for some reason, is a great color to use when scanning because it works like an X-ray, an energetic X-ray system when you use the color gray to scan because things cannot hide from you. When you try to scan with other colors, honestly, things will easily hide from you. But when you use the color gray to scan, nothing will be able to hide. You'll be able to see the invisible things trying to hide. We have the fates. What is fated for you is to get over the feeling of uselessness. Maybe you feel useless. Cleaning up around the house. This is associated with gnats. In my opinion, gnats are a positive element in nature outdoors. But when they are inside of the house, it means that there is an uncleanliness. And when there is an uncleanliness of any kind in the house creating a smell, that attracts demonic influences. So as you clean your house, you are cleaning things that entities can hide in. Just last night, I was remembering something that my brother said before he passed away. And he said that entities hide in stains. A stain on a sock, a stain on clothing, a stain on a pillowcase, stains on a wall. Entities hide in stains. So clean up your house whenever you feel useless, and you will see the uselessness disappear. Okay. The garden and the gate. So this is a lot of you in live time. In live time. You are locking yourself away from success, from abundance, from love, from a social life, from networking. In this depiction, you have a key around your neck, pile one. And you've locked yourself in the gate. You've locked yourself in your situation. You never come out. You want to avoid people. You think that something is going to happen if you leave the house. But the thing is, when you stay in the house for too long, you get attacked inside of the house. You get attacked psychologically, psychically, subconsciously. We have the temple. You needing to go to the temple, whatever you consider the temple is. What is the temple? What is the Holy Grail to you? Is it going to the organic farmer's market? Is it going to an expo? Is it going to a festival? You know, they have crystal expos where they have these huge slabs of crystals. You know, what do you consider being the Holy Grail when you see it? Is it a jazz festival? You know, what is it? So a lot of you are afraid of looking like your heart is on your sleeve. So you don't really there's someone that you're not letting somebody know how you feel. And we have contracts. Some of you are in love with someone else and married with someone else. We have Snowflake Obsidian. Snowflake Obsidian is about focusing on grounding yourself to feel safer. A lot of times, the anxiety that we feel throughout the day is coming from not being grounded, having too much caffeine. And you just focus on grounding yourself, focus on a root coming from your feet, a golden root, and going all the way down to the ground. However, with this particular pile, I recommend you actually purchasing this stone. I have this stone and it's very grounding and it makes you feel safe. When you feel grounded and when you feel safe, you feel comfortable. And when you feel comfortable, you feel open to being inspired. Charge forward. Do not allow life's difficulties and challenges to confuse or delay you. Lead your team confidently. I don't look back. Don't look back. Things are in your favor. So, whatever mission you have, whatever goal you have, charge forward. Charge forward. There's something that you have in mind that you are overthinking. See? For others of you, it might be purchasing property or making something final, notarizing, getting something notarized. So it's very interesting because for this pile, you are about to reach a breakthrough. And feeling any kind of uselessness is a complete attack, trying to block you from what? From charging forward. So, by all means, whatever you got cooking, charge forward. It is fated. It is fated for you to complete what you want to complete. So don't you dare overthink it. You should have the funds that you need to make the investment that you need. And we have the whirlwind again. So this one here, and this one here, and this one here. You want to marry somebody? You want to marry somebody? You want to get naughty with somebody? And for some of you, you want to get divorced and you want to marry somebody else. And life is too short not to. So I don't think you need to overthink anything further. Divine Mother Manifest. Some of you want to have a family and children. And last but not least, we have Nourish Your Body with brown. The color brown is very grounding, and including cacao in your diet, like dark chocolate has medicinal properties. So you want to avoid milk chocolate because milk chocolate has a lot of sugar and dairy and brings you down, and dark chocolate will bring you up and motivate you to get whatever you need done. Every time you progress, be ready. Have your shield and be on guard and know that there are energies that don't want you to progress. And next time that you feel any sense of uselessness, think of Spider-Man. Think of Spider-Man spewing on you. And how to get rid of that attack is by cleaning the house. Little by little, start cleaning your house. And the more that you clean the house, cobwebs in the corner, throwing things away that you never wear, going through your closet, going through the attic, going through all those, you know how everyone has these little corners of things that you want to avoid? That is where some of it is coming from. It's coming from old garments. It's coming from these corners where you just got to take an extra large black bag and fill it up with garbage that you are never going to wear, that doesn't represent your identity anymore. A lot of times we buy clothes, jackets, sweaters, and they just don't fit our identity that we become. We become different things at different times in our lives. So don't donate it either, okay? Usually I would say, "Oh, donate it, donate it." If you think about donating it, you will never get rid of it. Okay. I'm one of those people where a couple years ago, I used to live in a neighborhood where I could easily just abandon things in front of my house, and homeless people would walk by, anybody would walk by and take it. And now where I live, the neighborhood that I live now, people don't walk by. They don't walk by this neighborhood. It's not a public community like my old place. So I'll sit there and think about, oh, well, I want to donate this. This was never used. And because I thought like that, I wasn't able to. And then it just sits there. And that's kind of another trap. Entities will trick you and say, wait, no, you got to donate it. You got to call that number. You got to call that church. You got to call that shelter. You got to email this person. And then they're going to confuse you because they don't take, there's a certain place that takes these kinds and that kind of donations. If you're under attack to the point where you feel useless, you don't have time. You do not have time to be donating things. Okay? Just jam that into those bags and get rid of those bags. As you get rid of those bags, you will feel this burden, this heaviness leave your life. I literally felt pushed as I was putting things that I never use anymore in the bag. I literally felt pushed like vertigo. Okay, vertigo, in my opinion, is a spirit. I'm dead serious. Sometimes there is mental imbalances that create the vertigo. But if you're one of those people who you eat well, you exercise, you have your EMF and your stone protectors, and you're not an unbalanced person, there's no reason for you to have vertigo. In my opinion, vertigo is a spirit that is just trying to lure you away from any kind of progression whatsoever. So, with you, I felt pushed. I felt pushed multiple times and I felt vertigo. I got dizzy when I was trying to put all the things that I don't use into a extra large commercial black bag that I initially wanted to donate, but then I realized that that was also a trap. So that is my spiel on donations. Don't do it unless you have the car up and ready. You know where you're going to Salvation Army. If you know exactly where you're going, go ahead. But for the most part, old things need to get thrown away unless they were never used, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, so pile one, you got the kangaroo. You got the kangaroo. What is the kangaroo known for? The kangaroo is known for being capable of crushing your bones, losing its temper in 1 second because it's its natural instinct to, and hitting you real hard. The kangaroo reminds me of the palm tree when it comes to omens. It's a very similar omen to the palm tree. What happens when there is a hurricane, a tsunami? The palm tree is going crazy back and forth, but it is undefeatable. If you get in the way of a palm tree when there is a hurricane, you could lose your life and go flying. If you accidentally get hit by a palm tree that is so flexible, the harder that a palm tree is hit by the wind, the harder it comes flying back. And you, in this case, are the kangaroo. You are a force to be reckoned with, right? What happens when people mess with you? They get hit really hard. And when you are attacked by an opposing force that is invisible to the eye, invisible demons, invisible entities, invisible attack, what is going to hurt or clear that the easiest is you not falling for its traps and keeping yourself at high vibrational and saying no. The reason why I am getting all these setbacks is because something does not want to get off the ground. So don't fall for it, and you won't anymore. Now you know what's going on, okay? And same thing with the relationship that you're in. I believe that for the most part, it's a positive relationship that you're in. So the opposing force doesn't want you to get it up off the ground because it knows that if your relationship gets up off the ground, you're going to be a power couple. There's some couples that bring each other down. The couple dynamic that I see with you, you are a power couple that will help elevate each other. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose life is meaningless, sad face. Let's get into your little pile. So I'm going to go ahead and begin reading your pile, and then at the end of the reading, we're going to get an animal omen for you. So let's figure out what we need to clear for you. In regards to negative emotions that are affecting you to make you feel that life is meaningless. So, right before I begin your pile, I want to say that this pile for feeling that life is meaningless, you are advanced in your thinking and you are intelligent and wise enough to question everything, and you have realized the artificial ridiculousness of this matrix that we're in. So the fact that you chose life as meaningless means that you are not easily fooled. You are not easily fooled. You see through people, you see through agendas, you see through programs, you see through Illuminati and Hollywood and all this tainted content. You see through it all. Deep knowing, exactly. Exactly. So the reason, or, if somebody wanted to judge you, like, oh, how can you think like that? It means that you're intelligent, okay? And that's why I put a little leaf here. I put a little beautiful leaf because even if you come back to this reading later and you feel differently, you can still receive something from a timeless reading like this. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe one day you will feel really good, and then another day you're like, you know what? I'm feeling meaningless. Then you come back and we'll clear that. Okay. So you have a deep knowing, because the fact that life is meaningless, it's crazy, but in a way it kind of is. If you really, 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 really look at it, life is kind of meaningless. We are slaves in a prison. We're being farmed. There is no freedom. There's nothing but restrictions. How many people want to travel, want to explore, want to move, want to migrate, want to marry people in different countries? And they cannot do that because they are in this meaningless life where a duck has more rights. What do ducks do? What do swans do? They migrate. They migrate for the winter, for their survival, for their mental health. And yet humanity is not allowed to do that without requirements, qualifications, restrictions, red tape, right? So the fact that you feel this way is not incorrect if you want to judge yourself per se. We have expression of your throat, defending yourself, communicating, needing to work on your truth, your honesty with yourself, your honesty with others. And you know what really pisses me off is when I see a group of people talking, and let's say one person in the group decides to act human, and then everybody in the group ostracizes that person and almost bullies them for being human instead of defending them. Nobody defends them. Everybody looks at that person like they're crazy for doing a human behavior. And it's like contagious. So there'll be like 10 people in a group, right? One person acts human, then all the other people have these arrows towards the person acting human, like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing that. And what they're doing is a human behavior. And I feel like this pile is the pile that likes to break the ice in a social group. You like to break the ice. You like to start asking the uncomfortable questions. You're the one that talks about the elephant in the room. And if you're not, you need to become that way to defend yourself more, because you're not speaking up enough. You're not defending yourself enough for some of you. And then for others of you, you're really good at it, but maybe lately you've kind of stopped doing it. Well, you need to continue doing it. I love it when there's that one person in a group that asks all the questions that nobody is comfortable enough to ask, that nobody has the balls to ask. That one person that's like, wait a minute, this isn't fair. How come this, that, and that, and the other? You know, that is you. So this pile seems to be the pile that needs to be a leader, but for whatever reason is never the leader. But you should be the leader. Because you're like the cap caller. When something is not right, you call it. You call it out. And you have the courage to, or you need to have the courage to call it out. Face and embrace the person in the mirror. The person in the mirror, I believe, is a leader. You are a voice for the people. You are a defender of a certain group. So, whatever group that you feel overprotective about, that's the group that you need to defend. We have calcite. Thank you for reminding me, calcite. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so your pile is very interesting because your meaningless thought is not an attack. Your attack is actually coming from evil eye. Okay, so we're gonna clear all the freaking evil eye, the ridiculous jealousy and envy, evil eye that is making you feel that life is meaningless is actually coming from straight haters. Like, so many haters. Don't tell people your ideas. Don't tell people your goals. Don't tell people what is near and dear to your heart because they will just vomit on it. Because I don't know what it is about. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an era or a generation, society. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of evil eye. Instead of people being like, oh, that's so great. Oh, that's so great. Instead of saying that, they're like, well, good stuff never happens to me. And that, when you say good things never happen to me, you're already throwing witchcraft at people. I don't understand why. Why can't people just be happy for you? Why can't they be happy when something good happens to you? So the life is meaningless that you feel is coming from opposing haters. There's like these opposing haters, right? That don't want to support you and make you feel isolated. Like, you know what? That person has some wisdom over there. I'm going to isolate them. I feel masculine energy from this pile. I feel like a lot of men chose this pile. So, there's like this isolated targeting at work or just purposely isolating you because of your knowledge. I know, right? And making you feel alone ultimately. It is connected to jealous eye, evil eye, witchcraft, okay? Because what is evil eye? Evil eye is witchcraft. Your negative thought, your negative thought, your negative thought. Okay, it's like keep your negative thoughts to yourself. If you feel negative, stay your ass home. I'm so tired of people who just regurgitate on others. If you're not feeling good, lay in bed until you feel better. Don't come out in the world vomiting your misery on people, vomiting your curses and your witchcraft and evil eye on people who are just doing better than you and like even like look strong, like you look strong and people don't like that. Like, oh, look at you, you're so strong. Okay. So now all the meaninglessness has turned into jealousy. You see that? So now you're like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You are valuable. So there's jealousy and there's value. Okay. So now we're going to clear the jealousy. So the jealousy, you just turn off all the knobs if you want to make it faster because there's so much jealousy towards you. It's like past, present, future, jealousy, jealousy, jealousy. So just turn off all the knobs. Turn off all the knobs. You turn off all the knobs of jealousy, envy, evil eye, and then everything is rejected. And there's like this alarm system where it just goes, turns back, return, return. Get your jealousy, hatred, evil eye, eat it. Return to sender, eat it, eat it. It goes to their food. Everything that they try to put on you goes to their food. Okay, everything they try to put on you, it goes to their food. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Eat your own judgment, eat your own negative thoughts, eat your own hater thoughts. Eat it, eat it, eat your own hate. Okay, so now you have this like alarm system that goes radar, radar, radar if somebody is trying to throw something at you or hate on you, and now the meaninglessness has disappeared and has turned to value. You might be feeling a little dizzy right now, that's fine. You're like, oh wow, I'm valuable. Oh, I'm a little dizzy because I feel heavy. Like you are gold now. You're a piece of like a golden statue. It's gonna make you feel a little dizzy. Like, whoa, I am life is not meaningless at all. Life is meaningful and I am valuable. And the only reason why I felt for a second that life is meaningless is because people targeted you, isolated you to making you feel alone intentionally on purpose so that you would feel life is meaningless. So by you letting that simmer, you let the haters win. In the mirror, you see value. You see gold. There is meaning in that. There is value. So now you are valuable. It doesn't matter if you don't have a car or a mansion. Spiritual and energetic virtue is what God and Source cares about. God, Source, does not care about your Lamborghini, about your mansion, about your ponies. God doesn't care about that. God cares about your energetic and spiritual virtue. You are a man of value. Your voice has weight in it. You would be very good as a spokesperson, as a defender, a voice, a lawyer, some person that helps a group of people who are helpless. There are people who have no voice. And those people who have no voice, those are all attacks. Those are all cords. You can see the cords blocking the voice of that little group of people, and you're the voice for them. You have to speak up for them. We have tumbled stones, rainbow healing. This is about networking and meeting people. The more that you meet people, the more that you network, the more that you put your neck out there and communicate with complete strangers, the more you will find value in yourself and in your life. You will realize that you have a purpose in defending people. You are a defendant. Pile 2, you are a defendant. And for some crazy reason, the people, the haters that are jealous of you, are stupid as hell because they don't realize that you're a defendant. What the hell? How miserable do you look like? When you're hating, throwing your evil eye and misery towards a defendant. Why do you think that God's children's attackers get attacked so badly? Anyone who attacks God's children gets attacked so badly, because when you attack that person, you're attacking God. When you attack that person, you're attacking Source. And you have people in your life that I don't even think you realize that they're going to suffer consequences for throwing anything at you because you are a defendant on an energetic level. You don't have to have a license. You don't have to have a card. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to have any labels or badges. You do your volunteer work behind the scenes. You can do volunteer work on comments where, let's say there's a religious group or an ethnicity or culture that's being attacked on social media, and you're that one comment that just roasts everybody on those comments and lays down the justice for the words that need to be said. There is power in your words, pile two. And you know what? Life is meaningless without you. Life is meaningless without people like you who stand up for others that are too weak to. So, if anybody attacks you with their eye or their thoughts, they're going down so hard. They're going down so hard. Like, people don't understand. It like the mind of the hater, the mind of the miserable hater. And you know what's funny? A lot of times the miserable haters are the ones that wear evil eye jewelry. They're usually the ones that wear the evil eye jewelry. Like, are you trying to protect yourself from yourself? Like, you're over here talking about everybody and their mother while wearing an eye. You know what I mean? It's your actions. And it's crazy how haters don't look in the mirror and think, wow, I'm so miserable that I'm going to attack somebody who is a defender, a love worker, a light worker, an energy worker, an exorcist, a child of God, whatever. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that I have to do that? There's, and a lot of times these haters don't even, oh my God, I'm not even going to go there. Your pile is making me mad. Okay. The grounding energy from the northeast indicates the beginning of a new cycle. Be calm, meditate, and reflect upon your accomplishments and lessons learned. Engage in emotional and physical cleansing. Emotional and physical cleansing. Emotional and physical cleansing. How beautiful is that? That's exactly what we're doing. With the awareness of where certain things, thought patterns, negative loops are coming from, you block them from ever coming back again. You can make that system a permanent system, a permanent alarm system. So what I've done for myself, I have lived in many haunted houses my entire life, okay? I was born in a cursed haunted house, and almost every single house after that was haunted. So I set up an alarm system shield where if anything comes at me, it cannot be hidden. So there's like this curtain around me that has a radar, and anything that goes through it has to be shown, even if it's invisible. The other day, a rat was thrown on me, and I catched it so fast and I crushed it so hard, and I multiplied its power and returned it. Okay? You can you can take something that was about to hurt you and multiply it in power. I'm going to take this attack and I'm going to multiply it so it weighs so much more than this weak ass person was trying to put on, and return it in full force. So now whatever is returned to them is so much harder than what they tried to give to you, because you caught it and you multiplied its force. Okay, that's what I do. Um Of course, you could be a female with a lot of masculine energy, and that's why people are jealous of you because you defend yourself well or defend the positive group. Because in work dynamics, especially when there's somebody that defends the helpless, that person gets attacked for defending the helpless. And that's the vibe that I'm getting from this pile. It's like you get attacked for defending the helpless. But as long as you know that, you set your alarm system and you can see the thoughts that come from coworkers and you take them and you make it like stretched out gum or stretched out putty and you bind it against the person who try to throw it at you. So like a negative thought, like stink eye. I like calling it stink eye. The stink eye will just be a little piece of miserable, pathetic piece of gum. Okay, well, you take that piece of gum and you grow it. So now it's a piece of gum this big, and you stretch it out infinitely and put it around the person who attacked you. So now the person who tried to spit a little piece of weak gum at you is binded by a ginormous piece of gum that was stretched out like putty and wraps them to the point where they can't do anything. They're super glued in their own pathetic attempts. So the grounding energy from the northeast indicates the beginning of a new cycle. I'm reading it again. Yes, I am. Be calm, meditate, and reflect. The additional attack that tries to attack this pile is by making you not calm and making you lose your cool. So whenever you feel like somebody says something or you see something and you feel like you're about to start boiling, nope. That's what they want you to do. You are not going to boil. You're going to stay calm. You're going to stay calm like a shifu. And you're going to say, no, I'm not going to accept whatever you're trying to give me to make me boil. It is rejected. You eat it. And it goes to their food. Anything that wants to make you boil is an attack. Emotional and physical cleansing you can do yourself. You can take these are not selenite, but just as an example, you take two selenite crystals, and you can just feel all of these attempts to destabilize you. Okay, so you have the power to engage in physical and cleansing, to elicit new ideas, make the best of your timing, okay? And be in solitude. So these two being right next to each other is very interesting because this is talking about cleaning. When you do all the meeting and networking of all the people, because the industry that I work in, I'm in the golf club right now. I deal with so many people. I have to come home and I have to clear so much of people's energy. It's very it's not on purpose. It's mostly talking, it's mostly it's not intentional. Sometimes it might be negative, but most of the time it's just clearing the extra chatter. So make sure that when you go to an event that has a lot of people, you clear that people's energy. You take time to be in silence and you clear all of those people's energy, their questions, their requests, and so forth. You have the power to do that. You don't need, we are already powerful. A lot of times humanity will ask for things outside of ourselves when it's like we are that. We are that. Why do you think aliens and reptilians and demons want to attack humanity so much? They wouldn't attack us so much if we weren't powerful. But we're powerful energy generators, quantum systems that are extremely advanced. And sure, there's things that are more advanced and things that are not as advanced, but for the most part, we are powerful. And this is why we're always being attacked, because we're powerful. So if you look at it like that, then you can complement yourself and continue to progress with what you want to do. What fires you up, what gets you up in the morning, that's what you need to do. If your job makes you feel a sad face, then quit that job. You should be happy to go to work. You should be happy to go to work. You should be happy to see your person. Whatever it is you're doing should get you up, should motivate you to get up from bed. If it does not motivate you to get up from bed, then don't do it or do something else. We have spirit of man. So some of you might be going through an identity crisis, and when you feel like you're going through an identity crisis, what I recommend you to do is choose nothing. A lot of times when people find themselves in identity crisis, they're like, who am I? What is my ethnicity? What is my ancestry? Why do I speak this language, but I am not that language? I'm speaking English, but I am not from England. There's people that speak Spanish, but they are not from Spain because of colonization and our dark genocide in history, where we were not allowed to speak our indigenous language. From the north to the south to the east, from Hawaii, our language was taken away from us, our indigenous language. Our power was in our indigenous language. However, when you find yourself in an identity crisis, what I like to do is go into nothing mode and put labels on nothing. And when someone asks you, where are you from? You say, or who are you? Or what nationality? I'm human. And walk away. I'm human. And I'm human. Bye. Like, where are you from is such an invasive question. I don't understand why certain people think that it's okay to walk up to somebody and ask them where they're from and blah, 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 blah. Like, excuse me? It's so rude. You need to gain that trust to really, really get to know somebody. Just walking up to somebody and demanding to know about their language and ethnicity is just diabolical. Who are you? The government? The government has these labels, all these labels that they want to label people, right? And put you in a box. And spiritually, that has an effect on people because it dehumanizes them when that label doesn't really represent who they are. And you're making an indigenous person, for example, be forced to choose a box that they're not in. There's so many tribes. Why aren't the tribes on those forms? My point is, when you feel a sense of an identity crisis, it's not a bad thing. It means that your new identity is going to come in, your new wardrobe, you're the new person that you've become. It may mean that you had a near death experience or a death experience, because we can die within this lifetime and still be alive, like there's spiritual deaths. So if you're feeling like you're going through a spiritual identity, it may mean that you have gone through a spiritual death. And there's absolutely no need to choose a box or choose a tribe or choose a language. You can choose nothing and be nothing and say, you know what? I'm going through an identity crisis. I'm going to choose identity nothing. I'm going to be nothing in nothingness for as long as I can stand. And when you are in nothingness, you realize what fires you up, what wardrobe, what jewelry, what color fires you up, and then you learn your new identity. So allow yourself to be surprised genuinely by its new identity that you're going to slip into. And I feel that the new identity that you're going to slip into is going to be one that defends itself more. Especially now that you know that what you know is a deep knowing. And the reason why you're being isolated is because you're being isolated by people with lower IQs. So you're going to feel lonely. Of course, you're going to feel lonely. Of course, you're going to feel like life is meaningless when you're surrounded by people that have no IQ. It's always the ones that have no IQ that attack the ones that have an IQ. We notice that? Okay, let's keep on moving. Develop mental clarity. We have the color purple, beautiful color purple, that is giving you the clarity that you are slipping into a brand new identity that feels better because you were lied to for so many years, and the reason why you are the identity that you are now is because of those lies. But when you realize that those were lies and they come tumbling down, you don't want that identity anymore. You don't want those Walmart clothes anymore. Oh my gosh. You don't want that Walmart identity anymore, and it will feel so good when you realize that your difference in comparison to other people is actually your power. Because in society, people are always comparing themselves to others and they don't realize, why are you comparing yourself to the low vibrational cattle that continues to eat McDonald's and has no idea of why we're supposed to be boycotting hundreds of companies? You know, it's like, what? We're in 2025. You should have all those companies that we're supposed to be boycotting memorized by now. I'm speaking, for a specific country. I'm not even going to say. From nothing to everything. I love the color of these two right next to each other. We have the trash coming to pick up the trash. Get rid of that old identity that doesn't fit. From nothing to everything. Oh my God, I need to put the charger on. Okay, we're back. Where were we? Okay, so I feel like this is financially. Financially, you are going to receive a financial breakthrough, and you're going to feel like you're going from nothing to everything because of your discernment. So, your discernment is going to help you make wise decisions financially, where you basically don't spend money on anything. Don't spend money on anything. I feel like you're already kind of doing that, or you've already had an intuitive sense to do that. Don't buy nothing. Can you imagine? We work so hard. We get our taxes taken away from us, and then Our taxes are taxed. Our tax return is taxed, both federal and state. And then they expect us to go shopping to the mall and give it all right back. No. You keep your monies. Keep your money, even if you don't have a place to go to, because a lot of people in the world are wanting to move because it is unnatural to stay in one place for so long unless it's your forever home. But what is forever? What is forever? Everything in this world is temporary, and that's why I admire the life is meaningless meditation, because it makes you think about how temporary everything is. And when you see how temporary everything is, then it becomes tricky to trick you into thinking that it's meaningless. It's like, I understand where you're coming from. It's coming from a sense of slavery, of money. There's all kinds of intergalactic rumors, and one of the rumors is that Earth is the only pathetic low ass plane that has money. And it's not Earth's fault, it's not nature's fault, it's the enemy. It's the enemy who put a price on Earth. Before the enemy came and colonized everything, we were trading. The indigenous tribes, we were all trading. The Pipil Nahuatls, which is one of my tribes. I represent two tribes, the Pipil Nahuatl and the Arapaho. In my Pipil Nahuatl side, we used cacao seeds as currency. That is value. That is something that you can do something with. But what can you do with these bills? These coins that are not even real silver or real copper. When you melt them down, you see that they're not even copper or silver all the way through. So it's very easy to get into that state of mind. So, in my theory, the state of mind of life is meaningless is actual meditation. And then you think, wait a minute, no, 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 no. Life is a value. I am value. We all have a purpose here. So, the meditation is about what is meaningless in your life. Money. Money is meaningless. The more that you have, well, let's not talk about security. Security is its own category. Security is its own category. Security and safety is its own category. And it is immense because we come from generations and generations and generations of dysfunctional upbringing where there was no healthy feminine, there was no healthy masculine figure to set an example for generations to come. Those people were murdered. The leaders, the original indigenous leaders of every tribe was murdered. The chiefs that had all the answers, the medicine men and the medicine woman, the original, had all the answers and they were massacred. And then, you know, I'm not going to go on forever, but my point is, when you feel this way, it's about subtracting what is meaningless in your life. Are your goals meaningful? Because for some, they struggle with superficiality. They think that a Gucci bag is happiness, or they think that a Lamborghini is happiness, or a mansion is happiness. Honey, you're never going to own that house. You're always going to have to pay taxes on that property. And even when you go back to our ancestors' wisdom, what did our ancestors say about the land? Nobody owns it. Nobody owns the land. You do not own the land. Even if you buy it, you do not own the land. The land owns you. We belong to nature. Nature does not belong to us. We go back to the soil and we become minerals for the Mother Earth. That is why you feel the way that you feel. So the identity crisis here, this is a nice, fun time because you get to choose everything now. From now on, everything that you purchase when it comes to clothing, jewelry, rings, colors, you are going to choose what you want this time. You are never, ever, ever going to allow other people to influence your decisions because you being overly considerate, you were overly considerate to the wrong people and that effed you up. So whenever you feel low because of the consequence that you ended up in for giving too much of yourself. I'm going to stop that because I'm going to get emotional if I continue. Last but not least, let's do an animal omen for you. Pile 2. You are well shielded now. And I hope you have your alarm system. You can also set it to while you were sleeping. So let's say you're about to go to sleep and you have your radar system and you're going to go to sleep. You have a system let you know what happened while you were sleeping and you rewind. My cards are going crazy. La 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 la. Should I take these? They went that way. They went so far. Like that one song, So Far Away. I'm going to take them. At the same time that we were talking, don't judge my puffin, okay? We ran out of paper because I love puffins. I love them so much, but we ran out of paper because, yeah, don't judge him. He is so hurt. We were talking about your alarm system when you are sleeping. So let me put these down because they're already distracting me. When you're sleeping, you set up your radar, okay? When you wake up, what is the first thing that you do when you wake up? You get grounded. You force yourself to sit down in silence for 10 minutes and you get grounded. You visualize that golden cord going down your toes into the dirt, down, down, down. And you check your radar system. What happened while I was sleeping? Did they try to throw witchcraft on me? Okay, we take all that, we put it in a bottle. By the way, I'm feeling angry and depressed, and I don't want to, so I'm going to regurgitate it into that bottle. That same bottle that was reported that had witchcraft in it, you're going to regurgitate your anger and your depression and spew into that bottle. Because you know how you have nasty feelings in the morning? And sometimes you need somewhere to spew it. Why not spew it inside the bottle that has the witchcraft that try to attack you? Okay, and then yes, you guessed correctly. Then you throw back the bottle back to the person who sent it to you. So now the person who tried to throw that witchcraft at you gets hit with their own witchcraft, plus your anger and your depression that you hacked and spewed into it because you needed a place to spit in the morning. That's how you do your radar system when you are sleeping. And these cards came out at the same time that we were talking about that. They flew all the way and jumped onto my first pile. That's how far they went. So I took them. This is about people wanting to hurt you and you not being gullible. Don't be so gullible, like, oh, look at this person coming near me. People are piranhas. People are piranhas, man. They coming at you like a freaking piranha. But look at them teeth. Look at them teeth right there. So be careful about befriending or dating witches. And then we have the beautiful puffin, and this is you. So if you are in a situation right now that is a romantic situation, for example, I see you as the puffin. Look at all these little fishies in his beak. He's like, I'm eating the fruits of my labor. You are eating the fruits of your labor. And then piranhas want to come around like, hey, you want to date me? Don't fall for that. Please do not fall for that. Okay, that's a very funny message. It's not going to be for all of you, but whoever that was for. Okay, thank you so much. Bye. Okay. Hi, pile 3. If you chose life is a blessing, this is going to be your pile. Let me move this stuff out the way because I don't want to get confused with anything. Okay, so where should we start? Top or bottom? Shabam. Attract success. Right off the bat, we have attracting success, okay? This pile, if you feel that life is a blessing, you attract success. You attract success. Just for believing that, just for thinking that. I want to say God bless you. I don't usually say that to nobody on here, but I want to say it to this group. You know, you're the reason why I do what I do. I'm going to start crying, you guys. I'm going to start crying. Scarlet. This is a beautiful color, scarlet. It's like success in romance, success in career, success in anything, in any area of your life. You have the capability to do it, even if it's not allowed, even if there is a law against it. There's something about your energy that makes the universe give you an exception, an exemption. Let's continue on, and I'm going to flip it back over and go this way because that one was so exciting. I cannot handle another color at the moment. And then we have exchanging gifts, whatever that means to you, because that one is kind of personal. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. However, we do have pinkish and reddish here. So there's like a lot of single vibes of people being single, but not for long kind of energy. And I have to be reminded that we're doing a negative emotion clearing. You are going to be a really fun pile to clean. We have blossoming abundance. Okay. Okay. Blossoming abundance. Okay. So what we're clearing now is this fizzle. It's like there's these fizzling energies that don't want you to get what is yours. There's these fizzling energies that want your job. They want your opportunity. They want your man. They want your wife. They want what you got. They want to take it from you. There's these fizzling energies that are, it's very interesting because you are protected by your own state of mind being attracted to this pile. This state of mind protects you with a shield this color. So the fizzling can't touch you. You see how over here there's all this? And then if the fizzle was this would be like the fizzle, the negative fizzle that we're clearing. And the fizzling is I'm trying to think of the word. Destiny swappers. Aha. Is being sent by destiny swappers. So there's these people that are similar to haters that want to swap destinies with you. So they will lie and they will block you and they will put banana peels on the floor and try to trip you so that you don't get what's meant for you. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. What is yours is yours. But these destiny swappers will try to come around and throw like curveballs at you so that you're blocked from your husband or blocked from that job or blocked from whatever they don't want you to get. So they will lie, they will instigate. And when you run around people like that, you need to block them, okay? And sometimes it takes years to figure out that a person is a destiny swapper, or they will be your friend because they want the crumbs of your cornucopia. And those are the kind of people that will try to screw your spouse when they were your friends for so many years. You know what I mean? Those people you have to block because it's like, no, you're not going to take what's mine. What is yours, and what is mine. Okay. So you clear out all those fizzlers. You clear them all out because they're trying to fizzle crap on you. And mm, it's so bubbly that you can't even send it back. It's like there's different kinds of things to clear. And when you're trying to clear this crap, this bubbly crap that Destiny Swappers try and take from you, you can't return it. You can only clear it. I'm just being honest. I mean, hey, everybody's got different skills. All right. I know my limits and I know my unlimited amount of power. There's like two different things. There's like your humble limits and then your unlimited power. And in the energy world, we have to respect different ranks. So if there's somebody that has an attacker and that attacker is a higher level than you can hurt yourself. You can lose your life for trying to clear somebody who's being attacked by something that is a higher level than you. So you have to be humble and know where your limits are. And whenever I do these clearings, I automatically do it towards anything that is my rank. Anything that is above my rank, you can look on my description for my homepage, and those individuals will help you with higher rank attacks because they are very high level and they're constantly upgrading. We have to constantly upgrade because the dark side is constantly upgrading their rank. You have to constantly upgrade your rank to handle it. And in this case, all you can do is just clear it and keep clearing it and keep clearing it and solidify the clearing with hematite, magnetite, so that it solidly stays away and you block those people that are trying to take what is yours and then have the audacity to energy vamp you because you married who they wanted to marry or you bought the house that they wanted. And then they're like these energy vampires that you can never freaking get rid of, or it feels like it. I'm able to get rid of them because you get their weakness. So you find their weakness. You find their weakness, and let's say, sorry, I have to have like background ambience. It really helps. So if there's like background noise, it's just background ambience of a fireplace or the ocean or a cozy room in Alaska. Like, I love ambiances. Like, I don't know what I would do without ambiances. They really help my peace of mind. Okay, back to the clearing these destiny swapper things. So when you have an energy vampire, you take their weakness and use it against them. It's very easy to find people's weaknesses. So, for example, there is my first husband. I got married when I was like 18. I got married to a demon, and we ended up getting divorced. And they had the audacity to energy vampire me after the divorce. And they are terrified of snakes. And I mean terrified of snakes to the point where if I hold this like close to them, this here, they will freak out and be like paralyzed because they think it's a snake, you know? So I use that against them. And when they try to invade my privacy in my dream state, I either turn into a snake or I create a ginormous snake to eat them in the dream. And it's basically just using people's fears against them. So if somebody wants to energy vampire you and they're terrified of snakes, pour buckets and buckets and buckets of hairy, hairy tarantula spiders on them. You know, it's like, you know what their weakness is. If they got that close to you, you know what their weakness is. Okay? So that's how I deal with that. Crazy. Blossoming abundance. Give yourself permission to play. If you if you are wondering how to protect yourself, if this pile is like, oh my gosh, I am blossoming abundance, I am success, you're going to be able to have so much money that you're going to be able to buy people gifts. You're going to get freaked out and you're going to be like, oh, I have to protect this. I have to protect this. Shoshana, what do I do to protect this? You know how? You know how? By playing, 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 playing like a child. Okay? Playing like a freaking child will protect you. When you go into your inner child mode and you play like a child, whether that's playing pretend or whatever, arts and crafts, whatever, building helicopters, you know, those little kits where you build like a little helicopter or like different kinds of airplanes that they used during the war, like these little puzzle pieces, like whatever you call playing as a child. It's like, I'm not talking about video games. No, no, you know, just allowing yourself to not be your real age. Let's say your real age is 27 years old. For 1 second, act like you're 7. Act like you're 3. When you do that, oh my God, it's just when you regress into inner child mode and you disappear from the matrix and you go into make believe and do whatever you do, play with stickers, whatever, you mind F. You mind beep the negative forces, the opposing force, enemies, demons, entities, whatever you feel is after you. You mind F them because they cannot penetrate, they cannot do anything. You regressed into inner child mode. When you regress into inner child mode, you leave all timelines and you create your own, and you leave the matrix and you go into inner child mode on demand. Opposing force cannot do nothing. They cannot do nothing but watch. That is your protection. Your protection is basically playing like a child. So let's say, oh, I don't want to use that as an example. You start laughing. So, what happens when you go into inner child mode? What happens when you play like a child? You start laughing and you start having fun if you really allow yourself to have fun, you know? You start giggling and then you laugh and then you laugh even harder. The laughing, the laughing coming out of your mouth, the laughing wraps you around this protective plasma of laughter that makes such a high frequency. Laughing creates such a high frequency, and it repels the enemy, it repels demons, it repels entities. They don't want nothing to do with you. If you're laughing and having fun while being in inner child mode, it just can't do anything to you. Okay? That is your biggest protection. For another group of you, it is not drinking alcohol. If you feel like you get attacked when something happens in particular, don't drink alcohol. If you really truly want to feel protected, especially because the blossoming abundance means that more money is coming to you, or a consistent flow is going to be, like there's going to be an opening or opportunities to make multiple sources of income, for example, and you feel like you want to protect it because you feel like you can lose it. If you're feeling those kinds of feelings, you don't want to drink, because when you drink, you lose things. Do you understand? That's so crazy. Look at this. Look at this. We were just talking about that. So, might as well continue. The colors that you need to use to work with are burgundy. You have scarlet, attracting success, and then you have the color burgundy. Both of these colors are very self-soothing colors, but at the same time, you do not want to overindulge. Awaken your passions. So you obviously have somebody in mind and you don't want to ruin it with alcohol, okay? Because a lot of women think that if you bring some wine into the picture, it's going to make it romantic. No, it's not. It's not going to make it romantic. You're just going to involve spirits in your union, in your relationship that you want. So if you're feeling like a fear of losing something, that's your intuition saying, don't drink or you will lose your blossoming abundance. And give yourself permission to play when people are trying to take something from you energetically. If you play with what is yours, no one can take it from you in all aspects. Awakening your passion. So when you bring alcohol into the picture with your person, your date. What you're doing is awaking spirits that are going to make your partner infidelity. Alcohol spirits conjure up infidelity. What is the number one substance that a man and a woman are always doing when they're cheating on their main person? It's alcohol, okay? So it does not matter how committed your person is. Alcohol spirits conjure up infidelity because they possess that person, like putting them in a spell, okay? That it's like you kind of lose control. So that's for whoever that's for. All these messages are not going to be for everyone. We have lemon, access innovative thinking. I love this color. Accessing innovative thinking. I love it for clearing your space with lemon and getting rid of all of those negative emotions that have to do with loss. Your negative emotions that need to be clear have to do with fears of loss, and they're at the bottom. They're at the bottom. At this point, it doesn't matter where the hell it came from, mama, papa, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's there. And it looks like Stranger Things at the bottom. And you just take them all and laser beam them with this neon lemon so that the bottom and the top, right, left, all the sides completely surrounded in lemon. And you eradicate the fear of loss. The fear of losing is eradicated. And wherever sorry ass place it came from, it can stay and return to and go screw itself. Okay. This is not limited mindset. This pile does not have a limited mindset. Absolutely not. It is not a limited mindset. It is a fear of loss that we are clearing away. Okay. Like roots. This one needed a second round because there were roots that were hiding, that were like cursed tree roots. So this one is going to need a second round. A second round of laser beams, neon yellow, neon lemon. And then imagine an electrocution, like an electrocution of this color around you. And that fear of loss is pathetic. That is correct. So the fear of loss has now turned into disgust. And now, instead of you feeling a fear of loss, you feel a disgust for the thought of a fear of losing anything that is rightfully yours. And it's easier to dismiss any future fear of loss. Okay? We have more blessings coming your way. There are more blessings that are coming your way that are not visible right now, but you can feel them, and you are being urged to protect them with the color lemon. Protect it. And don't, because the thing is, whenever you receive things like this, there's a temptation. There's a temptation to gamble it all away. You know how they always say the devil's on the left. Whenever the devil on the left is like, let's go to the casino. No, you're not going to gamble. You're going to keep it, and you're going to hold it, and you're going to save it until you've come up with the best decision for everyone involved. A lot of times when we get our tax return, large sums of money, we do stupid, foolish things with it because you don't just sit there and hold it, tell nobody about it, and really think about where you're going to use this money, this energy that unfortunately we're enslaved by. So, sure, you're going to want to give a couple gifts to somebody, but be careful. Be careful with habitual addictions to spending money and shopping problems. New beginnings. A lot of you are going to be starting a new beginning or moving somewhere. You're not. The reason why you're so easily going to go from one place to another is because of your attitude. Your attitude is like, while you're moving, you're playing. Like, I have this vision of you being the kind of person that will play with the boxes before moving. Let's say, your roommates are around and you want to do a puppet show or Tetris or just some ridiculous game with the boxes. And I just see that you're the kind of person that will sit there and play with the boxes during the move. And that attitude right there is your golden attitude on why life comes so easy for you. It's like you have this easy access. And the only time that you have hiccups is when you are around Destiny Swapper Witch haters, and then you start overthinking yourself, being insecure, second guessing yourself. That is all because you told somebody that you shouldn't have told your business. Okay? Moving on. So you are moving. This doesn't have to be physical. If you love where you live, this could be a metaphoric move. Okay? Moving your state of mind and switching it up to another. Where you used to be closed minded, now you're open minded. Strive for a bigger purpose. For those of you who are not happy with where you're living and you actually do want to physically move, strive. Strive for a bigger purpose. Do not see the lotus bud. See instead the lotus blossom. Don't focus on the moment, for it is temporary. The future is better than today, even when not in view. And you chose the beautiful life is a blessing pile, which acknowledges the temporary, inevitable aspect of life. And we have the number 8 for those of you who are into numerology. We have rose quartz. Look, we have so much pink here. So many of you are single, engaged, or about to be in a commitment. Like, there is somebody that is interested in you and wants to marry you. And there's just so much romance here. And I think that the biggest thing, oops, where were we? This was the last one. The biggest thing that they're attracted to is your attitude. So attract success, awaken your passion, and take care of yourself. Trust that if you do, you will always land on your feet. We have the cat card. This is pairing well with the clearing of the fear of loss. So we cleared the fear of loss and we changed it to being disgusted by the idea of fearing loss at all. Because that's the best way that I could do it. Sometimes I can't control how I transmute it. and and it's just easier to dismiss that way because it's such a long sentence. You just dismiss it and it works out. So now next time you're like, oh, I'm going to lose something. You just see this long sentence and you know what it is, so you just dismiss it. But if you want to go back and read it, it is feeling disgusted by the thought of fearing loss at all. That is the affirmation that we changed fear of loss to, and it pairs well with this because this is about landing on your feet. What do a cat always lands on its feet for the most part. When the cat lands on its feet, it does not fear losing stance. It does not, when it's flopping around, flying around in thin air, being a cat, it's not thinking, I'm going to lose the floor I'm going to land on. So I like this being here. It's going to give you this self assurance that the only thing that you can lose is what was never yours to begin with. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Did you get one of these? How could I have finished? I almost finished without giving you an animal omen. I would have been so sad. Animal omen for pile 3. Animal omen for pile 3. Oh, you have the hummingbird. You have the hummingbird. You're on the right track. It's like you know exactly what you need to do. And for some of you, I feel like you're doing it already, and you just have to protect it. Protect it like a hummingbird. Protect this beautiful blessing that you have cultivated or will cultivate into your life. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Hi, pile 4. Dun 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 dun. It is your turn. If you chose this beautiful pile 4, this is going to be your reading. So I take one little moment. Okay, I just had to take a drink. And I don't even know where to begin with yours. Which one should we do? The one that showed first? So we have, some of you might be 37 years old. Activate your healing power. Okay, pile miracles. Today, we're going to be clearing your negative emotions. So let's find out where those negative emotions are located. We're activating your healing power. And you're going to feel like a living highlighter. And maybe you're going to feel a little heat. Okay. And let's find out where the negative emotions are coming from. We have resplendent with grace. This card. Wow. This is you in live time. Look at that body language. you realize that you are an unrepeatable phenomena. There is not another one of you, just like there's not another one of your mother or your husband, your daughter, your son. There is not another one. And you see the ripple of life. You see the preciousness of life. And even when you're in dark times, you see the beauty of that dark time. You're the kind of person that when you see the news and you see something sad happen to a family, you are secretly happy because you can see that spirit be released from their physical body and feel no more pain. And it's almost like you have this supernatural inner knowing that just sees that soul be in peace with source, or see that soul be in peace in their next life, or there are things that you see that you don't tell anyone. You don't like to record things, you don't like to take pictures of things, you think that is tacky. When someone sees something beautiful and then starts recording or taking pictures, you like to enjoy that live moment where no one else is watching but you. And every time you go out to a nature walk or just anywhere in nature, omens are attracted to you like magnets. Because those creatures, those animals, those birds, butterflies, fish, I want to say, even, I just want to say all animals, they are aware of your belief. People don't realize that there is an understanding, that there is this connection that we have with all life, even dark life. So both light and dark life are aware of each other's existence. And believe it or not, dark entities are also aware of the truth. And you have this awareness of that balance. And even if you don't open your mouth and utter a word, the animals and nature can feel your belief system. They can feel your love, or they can feel your awe that you have towards nature, towards life, towards animals. You are an observer. The reason why you are able to witness so much magic is because you know how to sit still, you know how to sit down, you know how to be quiet, you know how to be still in silence, you know how to sit down and be an observer. And unfortunately, we live in a world where nobody knows how to do that anymore. Everybody is constantly comparing themselves with each other, comparing their coins with other people's coins, and comparing their talent with other people's talent, and comparing horrible things about their facial features or body instead of seeing the beauty in their own unique blueprint. And it makes you sad when people can't sit still. You have family members that come and visit you, or you visit them, and they can't get off their phone to spend time with you. They can't just sit there and watch the sunset or the sunrise with you. They have to sit there on their phone and text and argue, and all you want is for someone to share the silence with. Leap forward and dare to make that change. There will be sacrifices and roadblocks, but you are protected. It is an imminent move. What is stale and depressed will be revitalized with this new energy. So, what you're dealing with now is that you've been trying so hard to be grateful. In a situation that you need to leave, in a situation that you need to move away from or start brand new. This could even be a brand new car. You know what I mean? It depends on what you're going through. If it means getting rid of an old car that's giving you problems and just buying a brand new one, it could be something like that. Or it could be moving to another town, or it could be completely changing your lifestyle, or it could be moving to where your person is, where a lot of you have a long distance relationship. It could be moving to be closer to them. So you feel shame and you feel guilt at times because you've been complaining, and complaining is not part of your nature. So then you feel guilt and shame, and you've just been complaining. And the thing is that your gratitude, your grateful demeanor is what is going to propel you to salvation. I want to say. I want to say that this resolution is going to be attracted to your gratitude, which you're not having right now, which is fine. The fact that you're not having gratitude right now and you're a grateful person is a message in itself that there needs to be a move of some kind, a change of some kind, an upgrade of some kind, remodeling of some kind, or perhaps a bulldoze of some kind and starting all over. Because when you are a grateful person and you can't be grateful for your circumstances, that is your radar. That is your flashing red light saying, oh, a grateful person is always grateful and they're complaining now. We have a problem. It's not in your nature to complain. So please allow me to clear the guilt and shame, because the guilt and shame that you have shouldn't be there. You're not acknowledging your intuitive protection mechanism that is trying to tell you that if there's something that you need to complain about, you need to make an adjustment. This goes for health issues. You need to see a holistic chiropractor. Oh, my nose wants to run. That's so strange. I haven't had a no. Well, we're clearing stuff, so that makes sense. I need to get some tissue. Hold on a second. Okay, where were we? Okay, so let's keep going. There's nothing worse than a grateful person being forced into a situation that they're not grateful about. So do not beat yourself up if you're in a situation that you can't stop complaining about. You can turn off the knobs if it's easier. You just turn off all the knobs to guilt and shame. You write down guilt and shame, and you see that the knob is at max, and you put it back to none. Or you can mute it if it's easier for you. It's very important to set knobs for negative emotions because those are negative emotions that you should never want to choose to feel. And when you feel them, you mute them or you turn them off. But if you don't have those knobs, it's a little more difficult to clear because things kind of have to be labeled. Or at least that's how I do it. I like labeling things. Okay. Um, let's move on to which way should we go? We have amethyst. Let's go with amethyst. So, amethyst is a very powerful stone. I'm actually allergic to amethyst. Um, in ancient times, amethyst was used as a birth control method, and it always makes me feel kind of sick. And I believe that that's the reason why, is because it's the opposite of what I want to do. I want to create life. I don't want to take life away. However, it does have healing properties because everything has, a list of good and bad. And amethyst removes entities. Okay, so I do use amethyst energetically, but physically, I can, oh my gosh. I can use just about any. I mean, the Stone Kingdom, titanium and all these stones, they're amazing, but they can also harm you if you are allergic to some of them. And we are all allergic to different things. And there are some stones that I feel so sick when I wear them, and that's amethyst. I feel really sick when I wear amethyst. Um, but I can wear every other purple stone in the entire stone kingdom. But for some reason, I don't like amethyst. But energetically, I do like using it for removing entities because it is very good for you for utilizing to remove negative entities and demons from your space. It's very interesting because if you're having any kind of paranormal or supernatural issues where you are living now, it's because you're needing to leave. And sometimes they will, the activity will rise when it's time for you to go. When it's time for you to leave a relationship or a household, there will be all omens. There will be omens like termites, rats, just sewage problems, sewage infestations, Black Widow spider hatching a bunch of eggs. There will be crazy omens that will try to tell you to leave. And I feel like there are some of you in here that are dealing with that you're like, wow, every time I go on a date with this person, I see a humongous spider. You know what I mean? And pay attention to the omens. But in the meantime, in the meantime, If you have to stay where you are and you want negative entities to stay away from your home, I recommend round cedar. There's a lot of tools that you can use, but if I had to sit here and tell you one, it is round cedar, not flat cedar. There's different kinds of cedar. There's flat cedar, flat cedar, and then there's round cedar. The flat one will not get rid of stubborn entities. The round one will. That is an Arapaho secret. Move to the rhythm of your soul. Wonderful. So if you feel under attack by anything, because there's so many different forms, right? Dancing, okay? Dancing. I cannot enough. Dancing breaks spells, breaks hexes, releases stored trauma, obliterates any kind of attack. A freaking dancer is anyone. I am a dancer, and a lot of times I don't want to dance. I will be in a bad mood or I'll be grumpy and I don't want to dance, but I know that I have to because there's a certain attack coming from a certain area. If you look at all the movements of a spinning dance, they are very similar to a ninja. They are very similar to Sufis. The religion, the Sufi religion, it's their religion to spin. What do you think is happening when that person is spinning? When you spin, you are returning spells, you are returning hexes at such a velocity. We have cornucopia. You are going to be able to upgrade your finances. You're going to be able to upgrade your kitchen. You're going to be able to upgrade the quality of food that is served in your platter. And for a lot of you, I would have amethyst by your window because people are going to be jealous of you celebrating. And I want to tell you that when you do celebrate, keep it super undercover, keep it super low key. You know what's crazy to me? Out of topic. I'm stepping away from the pile for just a second, but you know what's crazy to me is big weddings. Think about it. A huge wedding, like these, I don't know, people like big weddings. I'm the complete opposite. I don't want nobody at my wedding. I want nobody at my wedding. I want it to be a two people wedding whenever I get married again, God willing. But big weddings trip me out. First of all the money that goes into the weddings, like people spend $50,000 on weddings sometimes, it's just so much wasted money. And I mean, I don't want to judge. I just think like you're going to have a huge wedding. Do you really think that every single person in there truly wants to see you happy, truly likes your spouse, and wishes you well? The bigger the wedding, the more of a risk that you're taking that somebody in there is going to give you stink eye. And you're in a vulnerable state. You're over there eating cake, drinking champagne. You're lowering your defenses. Alcohol lowers your defenses. Alcohol lowers your vibration to zero, to negative, to nothing, and feeds negative bacteria in your digestion. So while you're over there drinking champagne and drinking wine and mixing dark and mixing light and Sauvignon, with Riesling and just laughing it up, you got thousands of people that you invited to your big massive wedding, and they're just throwing evil eye at you, and you don't even realize that so and so's auntie and so's great grandma and that cousin absolutely hates your spouse. Just as an example. I'm not talking about this pile. I'm just saying what mind boggles me are people who like big weddings, because to me, I see it as an energetic risk that somebody in there is going to throw stuff at your union, you know? So now I remember why I was talking about that, because I feel like some of you might be getting married and you don't want to put that all over social media. You don't want to put it all over. You don't want to announce it when something like that. Oh my God. I don't know why I'm just feeling so overprotective of you, because you are going to have something really good happen to you. If you're a man, you're going to finally buy that house. You're finally going to buy that truck. You're finally going to be able to own a restaurant. You're finally going to be able to buy a villa. If you're a female, you're going to get married. You're going to get engaged to, or you're going to have a huge wedding that maybe your spouse has a huge family, and you know what I mean? So this is a recovery channel. This is a recovery channel. So I recommend having apple cider, because if you drink apple cider in your wedding, you're not going to lower your defenses. You're going to stay shielded during the ceremony. But I'm just feeling really overprotective over you at this moment, because I feel that there's something that is really big that is going to be attracted to you because of your mentality. People don't understand that true escape, true exit is in the mind. And that's why I like to play pretend every single night before going to bed. I play pretend. I pretend that I'm not on this freaking earth. And you have a way of, you know how to set yourself free in your mind. Okay? You just do. The fact that you were attracted to miracles means that that's the vibration that you're on. Okay? Your default is expecting miracles and not expecting them at the same time, because you're dualistic like that. You're like, I expect miracles, I expect nothing. You are able to do that whether you realize it or not. You have like a subconscious, like, you have a really good system. However, because of that system, that is going to attract a fairy tale kind of life for you, where you're going to be living the fairy tale at some point in your life. It could be tomorrow, it can be in 2 days, 2 months, 2 years, 20 years. It might take an entire lifetime to get your ultimate goal stamped and notarized, you know. But either way, it is something that when it comes, for some of you, it's already kind of there. Be very guarded. Okay, I want you to guard it like birds guard their eggs in little trees. Okay, guard it. That's what I just guard it. Okay, don't sabotage it, jeopardize it, endanger it, bewilder it, abandon it, neglect it. Okay, to whatever it is. Um, for some of you, it's a family. It's this family that you're finally going to be able to have, and needing. See, I can't even function if there's no ambience in the background. I need my little background fireplace. Okay. Um, let me mute it, sorry. Your person or whoever is like your best friend is going to want to announce it, and you're going to have to say, please be hush about this. You know, you're going to have to, because your person or your best friend is going to be so happy for you. They're going to want to, because they love you, they're going to want to announce it all over the place. And you're just going to have to, take them by the hand and say, please, I appreciate this opportunity so much that I don't want you to announce it. I want to keep it hush hush. I don't want it announced. I want it to happen as exclusive and VIP as possible. Okay, let's go on. Cornucopia. That's what we were talking about, right? So this is what you're gonna have, you know? And we have yin. So there's like a feminine energy here, that a feminine energy that is being looked at and observed. And it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female, you can be a dude and feel that you are being looked at. It doesn't matter. Yin is just a feminine force that's being looked at. You're protected, but at the same time, be careful of who you allow to share this with, is what I want to say. Okay, very interesting pile. Okay, so I'm going to move all these to the side, and we are going to do our very last card, which is our Animal Omen. Animal Omen for pile 4. Let's see if there's anything else from pile 4. Okay, so there's like some self-doubt. All that self-doubt is coming from other people. Okay? You don't have self-doubt in your existence. You just don't. So anytime that you have self-doubt, it is from other people. And you reject it. And you reject it. And you reject it. You say, yeah, self-doubt, that's yours. That's yours. Take it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Anybody who is not happy for you in this beautiful, beautiful event that is going to be happening for you, they can eat it. Whenever you feel fear or self-doubt try to creep in, sleep. Take a nap. Because sometimes fear and doubt will be unrelentless, and that usually is because there's somebody that doesn't want you to get what is your inheritance, that can't stop thinking about you. And they're just like, God, I don't want them to get it. And even after you get it, they still can't believe you get it. And you can feel that energy. That's why it's so important to do return spells every single day, every single morning. The morning time upon waking up is the time that I recommend doing return spells. I love doing return spells in the morning because I feel shitty in the morning, so I can add to the attack and spew it back, you know, like a snowball. Like, oh, you threw this at me, this little freaking, I'm gonna make it a giant snowball and throw it back. And it's just really amusing because it's their own energy. I got distracted, but I'm gonna take those because they're screaming your pile. We have 2 cards from the Animal Omen, and yeah, 2. The first one is the Komodo dragon. I was sensing this energy a while ago, and I just didn't want to say it. But you have a fake bestie. You have a fake best friend that acts like they're your bestie, but they're just watching you, and they're actually a Komodo dragon. So make sure, this is why I was feeling so overprotective of you. When you do your invitations to your wedding, can you do me a favor and not invite the Komodo dragon in your life? There's a Komodo dragon in your life that acts like your best friend, but really, they would eat you alive if they had the chance. The last but not least, remember, activate your healing power. Okay? Whenever you feel attacked, you say to yourself or out loud in your mind, healing power, activate. And there's like this lightning, thunder that you will even hear in your ears, like lightning, thunder, healing power, activate. Show me where there is an attack and clear it with the amethyst. Do you feel any negative feelings that you want to add to the return? Okay. And then we have the beautiful roly-poly. The beautiful roly-poly in its sphere position. This is how you are being asked to be by the animal omen kingdom. Because this cornucopia that's happening for you is like happening behind the scenes. It's like before, during, and after. There are blessings that are accumulating for you, miracles, shall we say, miracles that are accumulating for you that are like before, during, after. That's why I like whenever I think Source, I like thanking Source for everything that you have done, are doing, and will do. Amen. And with you, this is like already been cooking your feast, your cornucopia, your fruits to your labor. My God, to everything that you had to suffer to get this, don't you dare share it with the Komodo dragon. Okay? So when you get your cornucopia, you need to duck and roll. You need to duck and roll like a roly-poly, and you don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to tell anyone. Why do you have to tell everyone? You don't have to tell anyone. If you are a very intuitive person, you're going to know who the Komodo dragon in your life is. And they're so close to you, like his tongue is to his body. Their tongue is in your ear, and they act like your best friend, your best pal, but they are not. They would poison you if they could. Literally. I'm not kidding. The saliva in Komodo dragons paralyzes the victim, so the victim is forced to watch themselves be eaten alive and not be able to move a muscle. You are being urged to duck and roll like the roly-poly when you get your cornucopia, and just keep it hush. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody of all your riches. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Bye.